Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. Very important point. I got a message from someone who says that the early messages were absolutely crucial to this case. Have a listen to this, people. I think it's quite important we go through this again.
And I'm just scrolling through the email. I don't at 3 a.m., 3:12 a.m. I don't. Don't F around, Joa. You got yourself into this. You haven't got a choice either way. I don't know who this is from and who this Don't F around, Joa is. People will find out what you did to him. Do not think it's smart threatening me on way now. People will find out what you did to him. Do not think it's smart threatening me. I don't know who they're talking to, who he's talking to here. This is a very interesting text. This message above from Lucy and ID, that is Jay in his white car. See more. Okay, there's a picture of a car below here. I do see a picture that's going to come up of somebody in the trunk of a car. Hey, Debbie, I was on the flight to Tenerife with Jay, Lucy, and Brad. Became close with him. We started meeting them each night.
Isn't that so apparently these Josh Forshaw, who was the one that basically came to court as a witness, and that he met Jay. I mean, don't forget this was very early on in the case, or was he actually made to do this at the end of the day to make the case more complicated?
At the festival, and then on Saturday night, my mate, somebody, and Jay, is that...
This doesn't make sense because I thought Lucy was already out there, and someone paid. I don't know. Well, I heard Lucy had paid for the ticket one way, but like I said, it's the first. It was made out sort of by Debbie in that documentary that Lucy, basically flew out with them. That's the thought I've got at the end of the day, which is kind of strange. But I've never believed that. I believe that Lucy was already there earlier, that had got there earlier. But like I said, for some reason, it's being protected about when she got there. First I've heard that Lucy actually played with it. It wouldn't surprise me if obviously Jay and Brad and other friends went together. But I didn't actually realise in this message that Lucy was with them as well. That's debatable. Let me know what you think, people. Did they all travel out together? I'm not so sure. I thought Lucy may have been out there before. That's what I think anyway.
Lucy and Jay tried to get cocaine, but Jay said, I don't know who's been scratched out. My mate looks like Lucy. I don't know what that first letter is, but this looks like a Y at the end. And Jay tried to get cocaine, but Jay said he literally had no money left. On Sunday night, Monday morning, me and my mate, again, I don't know who that is, went to Brad's hotel at 5 to 7 in the morning to chill. And on the way, me and Brad contacted Jay to let him know we were coming. He mentioned he was going to try and come back to Brad's to meet us there, and then we received a FaceTime from Jay on Brad's phone.
When it came time to take things to the next level, I knew that I had to make a website, and Wix was...
Here is the handheld power pump.
This is unbelievable.
Tires.
Sorry about this, people.
Tire and press the switch.
Wow, what the heck? So Brad had a bruise on his eye we just saw. So was Brad kidnapped with Jay? I'm not sure. I've seen Lucy's manipulation. She's calculated and smart. Having grown up around this lifestyle, her dad is involved in the same activities. Lucy knows what to do and say, but didn't expect to be in this deep. I believe Lucy wants Jay dead because of the media attention and protect her gang. She thought she'd be seen as a victim, but it's backfired.
I'm going to leave it there, people. Move on to part 2 and why I think these messages are so important. Welcome back to part 2, people. So one of the reasons I played that message again, one thing we know is a pattern of a lost bag, rugs being mentioned, a rugs ring of people, a lot of people involved in badness. And that is one of the reasons why I think so many people are involved in jumping into people's DMs in the early days, because I think the early messages were very, very important. And I think some of the message do make a lot of sense from Leon that she received in the early days, as well as myself, Mama D, Joseph Morris, Duncan, and many others out there, Wax, for instance. What I've noticed is that it seemed like to me, it was brought in to get as many stories out there. Josh Forshaw, who apparently met Jay on the plane going out there. And why would basically Jay trust to message Josh Forshaw that basically he's in a little bit of trouble? How did he not know that Josh didn't know Tom H or any other bad boys out there? That didn't make sense to me. And the person I always said who Jay would ring if he was in some serious trouble is his mum and dad. And why didn't he do that? That would be the number one question I'd be asking. If he'd got into trouble, why didn't Jay ring his mum and dad and assisted them, asked them, look, I need assistance into getting out of a situation that I'm in, or get me off the island? Or if his life was threatened, why didn't he go to the police? The reason why he didn't, because he was actually set up. I think him getting wrecked in the rugs was to basically for those people to take advantage of him. If you look through the whole case in the early days, the people involved, they aren't good people, they're crooks. They're into making money. And what they don't want you to do at the end of the day is for us to keep educating others on the case and putting it out there, because it means they can go and do their work, what they were doing before. It's as simple as that. And these are why the threats, the intimidation, the doxing of people's addresses, which obviously Mary Ann was shocked about as well. It just goes on and on and on. And it started from day one. We had MWT come out and basically mention rugs, a massive, massive underworld out there. There's a lot of people who are interconnected from the very top to the very bottom, and they don't want this exposed to the bigger world, because like I said, it causes attention. It causes it makes people feel more alert when they actually do go to Tenerife, and who you mix with in general or get involved in gangs. And people are thinking, wow, if I get involved in a gang or I start dealing rugs, then for me, there's no way out, because I'm intimidated, I'm threatened to keep going, I've been forced to carry packages and that. I think people are getting more alert to it, which is not good, to be honest with you. And like I said, all I see in this case massively is distractions. And the distractions are rug related, money related, liars, thieves, not nice people. This is what you see in the Jay Slater case. Money is the root to all evil. And I think they've all accident crew, people involved in Jay's death. They're all connected. They're all connected, and they think that was stupid enough to actually believe their BS and just get on with life. I feel very uncomfortable in what I was being told. And like I said, don't forget, a lot of the news articles made us think the way we think and investigate ourselves into what's going on in these early messages. Like I said, a lot of them do make a lot of sense in the early days. I think a lot of the truth was out there. And I think, like Wax said, a lot of people knew Jay was dead earlier on than what we first thought. Let me know what you think, people. But like I said, if you just look at the characteristics of this case, it tells you everything about the people we're actually dealing with who are involved in this case. Not good people. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Investigations and Streamline Entertainment. And thank you very much indeed, people. Let me know your thoughts.